Are the Dolphins really this good, or are the Jets just that bad?
Jets are really this bad. They're really, they're pretty damn awful.
So the Dolphins have their first 10-win season since 2020 and sit as the 2 seed in the AFC heading into Sunday night. Miami finishes their season at home against the Cowboys and Bills and on the road against the Ravens. That's the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL, according to our guys at ESPN Analytics.
The Miami Dolphins, they're now playing a team with a winning record. And the Dolphins at 10-4, we continue, all of us poking holes at them because you continue to find something. Whether it's like, all right, they're 10-1 against teams that are 500 or below, but they have not beaten a team with a winning record. 0-3 so far on the season. That was the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. They all fell short to.
Got a big show. I mean, a big show. Probably quite controversial show today. Gonna talk about a lot of different things. May tick some people off, but it is what it is. It's where we are. It's what we need to discuss. And what we need to discuss is that all bets are off. As I've said a few times, I've used my Godfather reference. All family debt, all family business will be settled in the next 3 weeks. I'm serious. All family business will be settled in the next 3 weeks. I don't know how else to say it. I've talked to some people today. I've gone back and forth with them, and I'm like, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. So I have a short pre-recorded message that I want to play right now. I have a message for every Miami Dolphins fan. And let me start by asking you a question. Do you realize, as Miami Dolphins fans, we all want the same thing? Yes. Over the last 8 months, I have vocalized my concerns very strongly, and many of you have gotten angry because of some of the things I've said. But it doesn't change the fact that over the last 8 months, everything I've said is because we all want the same thing. A big discrepancy is that some of you think that you've already achieved what you wanted to see. That's not so much how it is for me. And if you watch my videos over the last year, you have to admit, if you want to be honest, that I've been quite consistent with my messaging. I've always said that I wanted more from this team and that they haven't showed it to me yet. So despite your anger, I've held strong to my belief, and what I wanted to see was a championship level team. And you all have to admit, again, if you're being honest to yourself, that you haven't seen that yet either. The Dolphins have played 3 teams with a winning record. 3 teams above 500. And not only have they lost to those 3 teams, but they've lost to those teams in pretty much a grand fashion. And not only have they gone winless against those teams, but they've lost those games by an average of 16.3 points per game. The Dolphins have been so bad at beating teams with a winning record that they haven't beat a team with a winning record since October of 2022. Every other NFL team, all 31, every single one, has beaten a team with a winning record during that time span, including the lowly Carolina Panthers. That's why your feelings don't matter to me. That's why stats don't matter to me. That's why shit talking doesn't matter to me. That's why MVP talk doesn't matter to me. All that matters is what happens in the next 3 weeks. It's put up or shut up time. I've taken a lot of crap from Tuanon and Tuanon type people because they say I've been too hard on Tua, when actually it's just the opposite. I like Tua. I've said many times that I like what he stands for. I think he's a good man, but he just hasn't shown me what I've been looking for. I never turned my back on Tua. That is a childish and sophomoric take. I didn't swear out any oath to just with fealty just to follow Tua Tagovailoa. I want to see Tua and the Miami Dolphins win a championship. What I haven't cared about is wins over crappy teams. And remember, I didn't create the so-called can't win against good teams narrative. The Miami Dolphins did. They haven't beaten anybody since October 2022. So you can't blame that on me. The narrative was created by their performance. And since that time, since October of 2022, like I just said, every other NFL team in the league, all 31 teams, have beaten a team with a winning record, including the Carolina Panthers. And all of your excuses, complaining, whining, bitching, and nasty comments can't change that fact. Only one thing can change that narrative, if you want to call it a narrative. And that's what's coming up in the next 3 weeks. It's funny to me sometimes when I see people getting pissed off at me. It actually does make me laugh. I'll talk to my wife after I broadcast or do a video and I go, do they not realize, honey, that all of us have one thing in common in regards to the Miami Dolphins? So let me tell you what that one thing in common is. In the next 3 weeks, we are all going to find out a big answer. I'm hoping for the best, but I haven't seen it yet. And that one thing we have in common is you haven't either. You have not seen the Miami Dolphins beat a team with a winning record this year. We have that in common. Some of us have just had a different perspective on things. Some of you believe in this team and the quarterback in an almost religious fashion. That's not me. I gotta see it. And over the next 3 weeks, hopefully, we'll all see it together. Now let's get to the show.
All right, guys, that's where I stand. I wanted to make sure I put that out there out front so everybody knows what's going on. I don't care about stats. Don't want to hear it. Not going to argue it. Don't care about the rest of the schedule and that the Dolphins are 10-4. Don't care. Not even worth discussing at this point. Like I've said in other videos, at this point, we're almost in like an NBA style in-season tournament. You got 3 games coming up. 3 games to break the spell. Doesn't matter what happened before. Doesn't matter about your feelings. Doesn't matter about who's throwing for 2,000 or 4,000 yards or how many touchdowns or first ranked in the quarterback QB. It doesn't matter. At this point, we are all, or should be, in 100% agreement. We need to see this team beat quality opponents, period. There's nothing else to discuss. We need to see this team beat quality opponents. Sure, some of you think it'd be no problem. Some of you think it's going to be a problem, but we're going to find out. The speculation is over. We have spent 4 months. Let's see. No, more than 4 months. Since April was a draft. So we're talking almost 8 months of blah, 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 blah. The best in the world. Everything is fantastic. Tua is him. Tyreek is he. I'm so excited. I am so psyched that all that bullshit is over. Take it off, take the shirt off, stick it in a box, wherever you want to put it. Right now, it's put up or shut up time. And I am right where you are. We have that 100% in common. You can't take that away. None of us, not a single one of us, has seen this team beat a playoff level opponent since October of 2022. There's no more disagreement. We're all on the same page. We want to see this team move forward. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. We're going to get all confirmation moving forward. I am stoked. I am so excited. This is what I was waiting for. Had to labor through the entire season. I saw the schedule. I'm like, so I'm going to broadcast these games and try to stay interested. And I'm like, let's see what happens. And now, man, get a big old bucket of popcorn. We got a big old bucket of popcorn because Sunday at 4:25, in my estimation, the season begins. For me, the season begins on Sunday because none of that other shit matters. All the crap talking for the last 8 or 9 months does not matter. So forget your stats, forget your feelings, forget everything. It now gets settled on the field. I know there's a lot of people like hate to even hear that. I didn't hate Tua. One thing you have to agree on is my message to all of you listening, whether you liked it or not, has not changed. I'm probably one of the few guys out there who has said the same thing, almost to a broken record, just saying, I ain't seen it. I haven't seen it. Yay, they beat X, Y, and Z. Yep, so what? Now, I'm right there with you. Now, I can actually cheer. I can actually be happy because any of these 3 games here are going to break that narrative. And again, that's a narrative that I didn't create. The media didn't create. You can't get mad that any of us speaks of it. The person who created, well, not person, but it was created by the Miami Dolphins. They have not beaten a winning team since October 2022. Say it to yourself over and over. Doesn't matter what happened with the Jets. Doesn't even matter what happened with the Titans. Doesn't matter. All 10 wins. I hope you understand it. You got 3 weeks before the playoffs to prove yourself. The Dolphins have a mighty task. The fan base has a mighty task. I don't know how some people are going to exist without relying on past statistics. I don't know what people on Twitter are going to do when they can't bitch at people, because now it is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys are coming to town on Sunday, along with Santa Claus. Santa Claus and Dak Prescott and the rest of the guys are coming here on Sunday. And it's the first step of 3 to find out where this team is going to be. All 3 in a row, boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't have it any other way. No days off, no drama, straight up football, in your face. All 3 of these teams are well, Cowboys aren't that physical, but they can get physical. I'm excited to see it. I mean, some people have asked me, what do you think? I don't know. Both teams have had the same sort of lackluster schedule to get through and not really have to, play the toughies. And then Cowboys obviously got stomped by the Buffalo Bills. So I don't know what to expect. But what I want to see is some tough football, and I want to see the fans understand that this is what we've waited for. No turning back, no bitching. Barry's not the bad guy. We're all in this together from here on out. Merry Christmas, because this is what it's all about to me. And I can't wait. I mean, I'm not at all faking it. It's funny. My wife is on a cruise. Some of you guys know she had gotten sick. And so she went on a cruise with some people in her family, and her boat docks back here on the 24th. I'm like, what time? Because I can't miss the show, 4:25. We're going to go live at like 4:05. But I'm like, what time? And so I guess the boat gets back into Fort Lauderdale at 8 a.m. So I'm like, whew, got just enough time, go have breakfast, meet the family, talk to everybody. And like, hey guys, we got to go because I got a game. I got a game Sunday. I got shit to do. We all have shit to do on Sunday. Every Miami Dolphins fan, every Miami Dolphins teammate, they all got shit to do. They're ringing the bell on Sunday, and I just can't wait.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?